Hello friends, you are welcome to our literature and academic domain. Today I am going to discuss Philomela, a poem by Matthew Arnold. It will be line by line explanation of the poem in English language. And friends, if you want to listen the explanation of the same poem in Hindi language, please click the link given below. And if you want to know about Matthew Arnold, so I have made a separate video based on the poet. So on YouTube, please type Matthew Arnold academic domain, you will get it. And if you want to get the summary of this poem or the analysis of this poem, please visit theacademicdomain.com. And friends, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it and press the bell icon to get notified my new videos. So this poem is based on a Greek legend. In this legend, there were three characters. One is Tereus, the second one is Procne, and the third one is Philomela. So Tereus is the king of Thrace, and that Procne is the princess of Athens, and Philomela is the princess of Athens. So these are the sisters. So what happened here? That Procne was married to Tereus, and when she was married to Tereus, so she came to live here in Thrace, and she was there for 5 years. So after 5 years, she wanted to see her sister Philomela. So she sent her husband, that is King Tereus, to bring Philomela, and when he was bringing her from Athens, then what happened? On the way, he raped her and he cut her tongue so that she cannot narrate what happened to her. And when he came back and he told Procne that Philomela she is dead, she is no more. So what happened then? Philomela, that tapestry, and she sent that tapestry with the hand of old woman to her sister Procne, and she narrated in that tapestry that what happened to her, what happened to Philomela. So when that old woman met Procne, then Procne told her to lead her to Philomela. So when she came to meet her, then she came to know all the things that what happened to her sister. And when these two sisters came to Thrace, when they came to palace, then what happened? They killed their own son. It means the son of Tereus and the Procne. They killed him and they offered the meal of their son to Tereus. And what happened when he had the meal? So in the end, Philomela threw the head of their son on the table, and when Tereus knew that what happened, that what he had eaten, he came to know that he ate the meat of his own son, and then he chased these two sisters. He wanted to kill them, that because they had killed his son. So he chased these two sisters to kill them, and when he was chasing them and he was about to kill them, then gods transferred Procne, that was the prince of Athens, into swallow, and they transferred Philomela into nightingale, and they transferred Tereus into hark or hoopoe. So somewhere it is hark and somewhere it is hoopoe. So this poem is based on this Greek legend, and in this Greek legend, as the title of the poem, that Philomela. So here Philomela became nightingale now, and she is singing in the moonlight. She is singing in the beautiful night, and the poet is thinking that she is singing about, or she is posing about what happened to her, how she was raped, and how her tongue was cut by Tereus. So let's discuss the poem now. So there are 4 stanzas in the poem. So in first and second stanza we have four lines. In the third stanza we have 7 lines. In the fourth stanza we have almost 10-15 lines, almost 50 lines. So let's see the poem now. Hark, listen, the nightingale. So it is the night time, and the weather is very beautiful, very pleasant weather, and a nightingale is singing there. So when the poet listens the song of nightingale, and he feels that she is pouring her pain. So she is talking about her pain. So he says that, hark, listen the nightingale, listen the nightingale, the tawny throated. Tawny means brownie. So the nightingale is used to be a brown color. So he is telling that, listen that tawny, that brownie colored nightingale. Hark, listen from that moonlit cedar, what a burst. So listen that she is bursting, she is pouring her song, she is singing. From where? From the moonlit cedar. Cedar is a kind of tree, and moonlit means which is which is shining in the moonlight. So he is telling that, listen the nightingale, that how she is bursting her pain, how she is pouring her pain into the moonlight cedar, into the from the cedar. What triumph, hark, what pain. And she talks about the triumph, and what a triumph. Triumph means that how she was successful in killing the Tyrius, in killing the king who raped her and who took her, who cut her tongue. And what pain. And she is also singing about the pain what she had gone through. Now the second stanza. O wanderer from a Grecian shore, still after many years in distant lands. Now he is he is addressing Nightingale as wanderer, that you are a wanderer, you came from Grecian shore. Actually this incident happened in Greece. So that's why he's telling that you came to English, you came to this distant lands, means to the location of the poet, it means in England, from Greece. How? After many years. So it took almost it took more than 100 years when you came from Greece to this distant land, to this location where I am. So still nourishing in thy bewildered brain. So he is telling that it's almost thousand of years what happened to you, but do you still nourishing, do you still that nurturing that pain in your bewildered brain, in your bewildered means in your anxious, in your afflicted brain, what that wild, unquenched, deep sunken old world pain. So he is saying that, do you still nourishing, do you still nurturing what that wild, wild, unquenched, that revenge. So do you still nourishing, do you still nurturing that wild revenge, that wild anger which happened to you, that what happened to you, that wild anger which is still unquenched, which is still unfulfilled. So for what? Deep sunken old world pain. So do you still do you still nurture that wild anger, that which is unquenched, which is unfulfilled, for your deep old pain, deep old pain, that when you were raped by the king and your tongue was cut. So do you still nurture that pain which is deep down in your heart, and do you still nurture that wild anger and wild revenge, which is unquenched, it means that which is unfulfilled. So he is asking the question to the nightingale, that still do you remember those things. So in the third stanza he says that, say what will it never heal. So tell me that your pain, whatever the pain you have, whatever the things which happen to you, so tell me that your pain will never heal. And can this fragrant lawn with its cool trees and night, and the sweet tranquil Thames, and moonshine and the dew, to thy racked heart and brain afford no balm, no balm. So again the poet says that, say, will it never heal? Your pain will not be healed ever. Tell me. And again he says that, and can this fragrant lawn, this lawn with its cool trees. So here we have, it is a winter season, and here we have different types of trees and flowers in this lawn, and this beautiful weather, and this night, this beautiful night, and this sweet and calm Thames river, and this moonshine, this moonlight, and this tender dew. So all these things. So the poet says that tell me that all these things, this is such a beautiful weather here. So all these things will not, provide balm or ointment for your racked heart and brain. For your racked means afflicted, for your tortured. So the poet says that tell me that all these beautiful things will not provide a balm for your afflicted, tortured heart and brain. Now, the fourth stanza. Dost thou tonight behold? Behold means see, but here it is remember. So the poet says that it's long ago what happened to you, but do you still remember what? Dost thou tonight behold? Just tonight do you remember that here through the moonlight on this English grass? So you are here in England, you are in this meadow, in grassland, in this lawn. So still do you remember what? The unfriendly palace in the Thracian wild. So do you remember that unfriendly palace? Unfriendly palace, it means that where the Tereus was living, where the king was living who raped her. That's why the palace is unfriendly. And Thracian wild, and in that wilderness, in that forest where you were raped and your tongue was cut by the king. So the poet says here that when you are in England and it is such a beautiful weather, that tonight, so still do you remember those things? You still do you remember that palace and that wild where you were wronged? So again, he asked the question, dost thou again peruse with hot cheeks and seared eyes the too clear web and thy dumb sister's shame? So he says that do you, peruse means read, but here again remember. So he says that do you still remember that when do you still remember that when you were wronged and there were tears on your cheeks and your eyes were red, and in the beginning your sister was dumb about the incident? In the beginning it means that your sister didn't know that what happened to you. So still do you remember all those things in such a beautiful night, in such a beautiful weather? So the fourth stanza continued here. Dost thou once more essay thy flight and feel come over thee, poor fugitive, the feathery changed? So again, the poet says that do you remember still that dost thou once more essay thy flight? So still do you still remember that flight, how you were struggling and feel come over thee? And when do you still remember that how that Tereus was after you and how he wanted to kill you and how he was about to overcome you? Thee means you, that how he was about to catch you. Do you still remember? And poor fugitive means how you were running, that how you wanted to escape from there, and the feathery changed, and suddenly how you were changed into feather. It means that as I told you in the beginning that they were transformed, that Philomela was transformed into nightingale. So he is telling that how when you were running, how when you were escaping, that how you were suddenly changed into birds. You were changed into feather means you were changed into bird. Again, poet says that once more and once more seem to make resound with love and hate, triumph and agony, lone Dallas and the high Cephisian whale. So again the poet says here that do you still remember, still do you still sing? Resound means making an echo. It means that the nightingale is singing. So he says that do you still sing about that love and hate? Love means love for her sister because she wanted to meet her, and hate for the man for her brother-in-law, for the Tyreus who raped her and cut her tongue. So he is telling that, do you still remember that love and hate, and do you still remember that triumph and agony? Triumph means that how she was successful to kill his son and offer him the meal, and agony means that that how she was raped and her tongue was cut. So the poet is telling that, do you still remember that love and hate? Do you still remember that triumph and agony? And do you still remember that place? Lone Daulis. Daulis was the hometown of Tyreus, the king who raped her, and the high Cephisian whale. Cephisian was a river, and it was in Athens. And these two sisters, Procne and Philomela, they were the princes of Athens. So it means that, do you still remember the hometown of the Tyreus, of the king, and your hometown? So again, the last lines of the fourth stanza. Listen, Eugenia. So now, Eugenia, she was a Roman martyr. She was a Roman saint. And when the poet listens the song of nightingale, and when the poet listens the pain of nightingale, so he is calling Eugenia for help. So Eugenia, as I told you, that she was a Roman saint. So he is telling that, listen, Eugenia, Eugenia, the saint, do you listen this? What? How thick the birds come crowding through the leaves. So the poet says that, do you listen that how thick the burst, how that thick the burst come crowding, how it is flooding. Burst means the song of the nightingale. Flooding, crowding is coming, flooding through the leaves. It means that the nightingale is in the tree. It is in the leaves, and he is addressing Eugenia and telling that, do you listen that how the song of the nightingale is flooding from the trees? Again thou hearest. So again he is telling that, again, do you listen that, do you hear that how she is flooding her song, how she is singing the song from the leaves. Eternal passion. Now he says that this is a eternal passion, this is a eternal agony. Eternal means which is not going to end, never ending. So the poet says that it is a eternal passion, it is a eternal agony, and it is a eternal pain, it is a never ending pain. So he is calling, he is addressing Eugenia that, can you provide some balm, can you reduce the pain, the agony of the nightingale?